watching USA, America's favorite cable network.
Okay, everybody, this is a special edition of It Was a Thing on TV Presents. This is Greg Diener here, and you're going to be joining me. This is an experiment. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but this is going to be a little test. I'm going to be using my phone, and I'm just going to let it record while I'm driving on the road here. So it's just going to be like me trying to, get my thoughts in. First solo podcast for me here on the It Was a Thing on TV feed. It's very difficult. I've found in the past that I've been nervous about doing solo podcasts by myself because, I'm always afraid because, being live without a net. So, it's difficult to try and bounce off without a partner and everything. So if I make any mistakes or anything, to quote Jim Ross, the Psycho Sid at In Your House 1, it's live, pal. And I'm trying to wait as some cars are coming across to cross here. And there we go. Success. Success. Okay. Well, as you're probably listening to this will be released on Wednesday on Podbean, which I'm recording this on a Tuesday on June the 7th. So the reason I'm trying to test this out by doing a solo podcast is as you probably know or don't know, I do mainly summer baseball work, and this is normally like my busy season of the year. 2 years ago, which would have been within the first year we started the podcast, all my summer baseball work got canceled, obviously, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, if I remember correctly, we were going to skip 2 weeks because I think Mike was going to go on an overseas cruise with his dad. So we were going to do 2 weeks. And also I was going to skip 1 week in June, which was the When Things Were Rotten / the Nut House week, which I figured the reason why I wanted to skip that week was because I figured I was going to have like nothing of value for that week. So I was just going to plan to skip that week and just focus on my baseball stuff for that week. But of course, yeah, everything got canceled and we had to do the 2 weeks anyway, because, Mike obviously wasn't going to go on a cruise. Who was going to go on a cruise during a pandemic, obviously? Obviously, because I was, as you know, I was on a cruise like maybe about 2 months ago, and Chico was on a cruise too, which is why he missed the Second Chance W2F Prizes of Pressure Luck week worth of shows. That was about a week and a half ago at this point. I was on a cruise, and I did not want to go on a cruise. I'm going to be honest. I don't like going on cruises. You've been on one cruise, you've been on them all. The bingo, the sightseeing, it's just, most people are happy to go on just one cruise. I've been on like 12. Whatever. But that's not besides the point. I mean, I enjoyed myself. I went to Mexico, went to Belize. It was fine. I just don't want to do. I'm just tired of going on cruises. It's just whatever. Which is why, if you remember, like when we did the Face the Music week, where there was only one episode that week, that was why. We recorded that like a week before in advance. But yeah. And of course, 2021 with baseball and everything, we had a shortened season because we were still dealing with the effects of the COVID pandemic and everything. And it was a 30-game season I did during the summer. And it's still somewhat shortened because of 36, but we're doing 36 games this year. But we were planning on doing that anyway, even before the pandemic happened. But we're starting on June 10th. So, because normally in the past we'd start on June 1st. But I mean, it's still like better. I mean, for me, for podcast wise, I mean, because it's June, the 10th of June, as opposed to like very, very early June. So that's probably about 7 weeks that are affected as opposed to 8. So I don't know what's going to happen for those 7 weeks if I'm going to be available. Because what we did during the summer last year was we did one episode on one day, and we did the second episode of the week during another day. So I don't know how we're going to work it out. There was one week last year, which was the Telly Savalas, Telly Who Loves You Baby episode I remember last year, which we just did one episode because I had an external matter that was unforeseen that I had to deal with. So that's why we had to do one episode that week, because I think, Disco Demolition Night was going to be that week with the Telly Who Loves You Baby episode. And we had to push that back to like August after the season was done for me. But yeah, I figured because I would like to do some live shows during the summer, but because of all the work and everything and my other job, it gets hectic, and I gotta also try to edit the episodes too, which is a problem in and of itself for me. That takes up a lot of my time too. So all the stuff I wanted to do with like live shows and everything, with like Stream Lounge and everything. I haven't done a Stream Lounge. I think the last Stream Lounge me and Chico did, if I remember correctly, was back in February when we did Shang-Chi. The 2 live shows we did, obviously, for the Podbean feed, which was the Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Edition 4K edition, and the Beyond Belief episode. The Beyond Belief episode we did on YouTube, obviously. And the Star Trek The Motion Picture episode me and Chico did through Skype, because Stream Lounge doesn't support Paramount Plus for whatever reason. They support Netflix, they support Disney Plus, they support HBO Max. I know they support Shudder. They support MLB.TV for some reason, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone stream something from MLB.TV on Stream Lounge. No, that's not correct. I think I saw someone like stream a Yankees game on Stream Lounge, at least on the What's Streaming Now section on Stream Lounge. So yeah, I liked it because I want to do with Chico Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes 1 and 2. I wanted to do that, but he had to go on his cruise, so I couldn't do that. And well, I'm stuck in traffic right now, by the way. So I'm trying to go in and I'm trying to get my car washed out in Riverhead, and I'm stuck out here in West Hampton Beach trying to get to Riverhead. I don't know what's going on over there. Yeah. But right now, Obi-Wan Kenobi is in episode 3 at the time I'm recording this. So tomorrow, which is today if you're listening to this on Podbean, which is when this is being released, is when episode 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi comes out on Disney Plus. I've been enjoying Obi-Wan Kenobi so far. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very good show. I kind of like the fact that you're dealing with an Obi-Wan Kenobi who's had 10 years of trying to be with his thoughts about how he failed Anakin and how he's trying to watch over Luke, but Uncle Owen is trying to say, just no, Uncle, no, Obi-Wan, just go, no, Luke doesn't need you, Obi-Wan, just go. And then you also have to deal with Obi-Wan trying to rescue young Princess Leia from the Empire. And man, I cannot believe that Flea's in this. Flea's the one who kidnaps Princess Leia, which honestly, if you know anything, Back to the Future 2, obviously, yeah, you figure somebody like Needles would be involved in nefarious activities. Damn you, Needles. I was just waiting at some point in, like, episode 1, or not episode 2 or whatever, if he said to Obi-Wan, "What's the matter, Kenobi? Chicken?" That would have been something. But I like this stuff that they've done with the interactions between Obi-Wan and the little girl who's playing the young Leia. And I will say this: 2 things I love about this show: young Leia and Tika the Jawa. There needs to be a spin-off show about Tika the Jawa. He is the best thing in this show, even though he was only in for like 2 minutes. He was the freaking best. Trying to con Obi-Wan. Oh my god. And the best part is, he gave Obi-Wan the little land speeder thing to give to Luke Skywalker. And that is just sweet. That's of course, the little, not the shuttle toy. The shuttle toy that you see Luke using in A New Hope. In that one scene where, before Luke sees the message from Princess Leia about the helping Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my hope. You know what I'm talking about. The shuttlecraft. Yeah. Yeah, and also, I think this summer we got Andor coming to Disney Plus right afterwards, and that's gonna be the prequel to Rogue One, with Diego Luna reprising the role from Rogue One. Kind of curious. I'm kind of excited about that one. I like Diego Luna in Rogue One. In fact, Rogue One, is one of my I think it's what I gotta say. I'd go and say it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, behind Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I would go as far as to say it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, right after Empire Strikes Back. I really liked the different dynamic of Rogue One. I like the fact that it was like a heist movie where they try to get the Death Star plans. It's, the backstory of the Death Star plans. I thought it was a fun movie. Felicity Jones and everybody. Alan Tudyk as the droid, the thingamajig. Oh, I forgot the one in episode 3. Speaking of, I was brought up Alan Tudyk as the droid guy in Rogue One. The one droid, I forget the big giant droid thing from episode 3. Oh, that little droid, that big droid thing. Oh, he was awesome. Very awesome. I hope he has a big scene later on in the show. I loved him. Giant droid, but he couldn't speak, but heart of gold. You can tell for that droid. Fantastic. And by the way, now that I'm home, since I couldn't remember the name of the droid while I was driving the car, the name of the droid is Ned B. Ned B. Well, I hope you have a great shining moment later on this series, Ned B. Because I love you. And we got Stranger Things, Season 4 going on Netflix at the moment. It's funny, so I think I've mentioned this to Chico, but I canceled my Netflix subscription back in, October of 2020, and I only, have resubbed once, but that was, for 1 month, because I needed to reactivate my Netflix account for a Tiger King episode we did back in episode 121, just to rewatch it to get a refresher of Tiger King, and I canceled it right afterwards, after we were done with episode 121, so I've not really needed Netflix that much, because I think I've said it on the podcast, I think Disney Plus, HBO Max, much better streaming services than Netflix. I just feel like Netflix is just like, okay, you got Stranger Things, and I guess you got Squid Game now, but other than that, it's like, other than like maybe if you're watching a movie that's exclusive on Netflix, I don't know what value Netflix has. To be honest, I don't. I mean, because they can't. Anytime you have a good show on Netflix, they'll just straight up cancel it on you after like 2 or 3 seasons, not even bother to give it a conclusion, and just say F the fans. I mean, Daredevil, Glow, Online 1, thank you very much. And also, I don't, and friggin', I don't, but I mean, Netflix, I had to get my dad's Netflix account just to watch Stranger Things Season 4, and I've watched all but the last episode of the first half of Season 4, and I've kind of enjoyed it so far. I've got to say, the Vecna it's a very terrifying villain. I like that the effects they do, like when they get the bone snapping and everything, is like, that is a friggin' awesome ass effect. And I don't know where they're gonna go with the as I've mentioned, I haven't seen the last episode of the first half of Season 4 yet, so I don't know if they resolved the whole Hopper and thing in Russia yet. I don't know if that's resolved before they get to the second half of Season 4, but I think I'd say it in the episode that we're gonna be releasing on the Podbean feed on Thursday, but the one jock douche in Stranger Things Season 4, you know what I'm talking, the guy who's on like Lucas's basketball team, who's dating the cheerleaders, seeing Eddie, I believe the guy's name, the guy from the Hellfire Club. Like how he's like so adamant that he's, responsible for everything. It's like, oh, my girlfriend, oh, she never did drugs, and I'm like, why doesn't one person from the basketball team just say to the jock douche guy, like, dude, like, do you like really know your girlfriend? Like, you honestly think your girlfriend is like so perfect that she never does drugs? Am I supposed to believe also that every person on this basketball team has never done any drugs? This is a basketball team in 1986. Like, this is like 1 year removed from like one of the guys on Villanova snorting like coke in the locker room during the middle of the Final Four. This is like a few months, I believe, set before Len Bias died. I'm pretty sure one of the people on this basketball team has to have done at least one illegal drug once in their life. I do not believe that any of these players on this basketball team subscribe to the Nancy Reagan just say no theory. Just an observation. But I didn't think that they were gonna, spoilers, because I don't have the spoiler alert. But I figure if you're listening to this, you probably have seen episodes of the 4th season of Stranger Things. So I'm just going to put that warning there. And if you've listened to any of our shows on this podcast, you know what to expect. So, and I gave you the spoiler alert anyway. So if you don't want to listen, you can watch Stranger Things Season 4 on Netflix, and then come back to me later. But episode 4, I gotta say, I didn't think that they were gonna kill off Max at the halfway point of season 4 of Stranger Things. But holy crap, if I wasn't crying during that scene where they show Max in the grip of the Vecna, and it's flashing back to all the scenes of Max over the 3 seasons that she's been on the show, and just the scene where she's running to the Kate Bush song, oh, just pure. I gotta say, maybe the best episode of television this year, next to Barry season 3 episode 2. And I think those are the two, for me, the two best episodes of television this year. Stranger Things season 4 episode 4, which is Dear Billy, and season 3 episode 2 of Barry. And Barry, by the way, is next week, would be Wednesday, which would be 4 days from now for you if you're listening to this on Podbean, or if you're listening to this after this week, it's already passed, and you can probably watch it on HBO Max anyway. But this is being recorded before the final episode of this 3rd season for Barry, and I gotta say, the last episode of the season, I'm kind of curious to see where this goes, because you got Barry, he's in the hospital because he got poisoned, and you got Fuchs, he got put into got to prison, not prison, he got sent to the police by Janice's dad, who interrogated Mr. Cousineau, and Mr. Cousineau has his little streaming acting class thing, which I gotta say, that Mr. Cousineau acting class streaming thing, that's gotta look like the most amazing freaking show in the world. I would watch that in real life. That sounds like an awesome show. I really wish that was real. And also the scene where Sally just goes pure Barry. She has now inherited Barry's rage. Even though that she's now broken up with Barry, she has become, in a way, Barry. Because she has a violent outburst at her former assistant, just like what happened with Barry and her in episode 2 of the 3rd season. So I'm just wondering, here's how I'm thinking, this is just me thinking about how that whole thing with Sally is going to go, is I'm thinking maybe that at the end of the season that she's going to figure out or find out what Barry does. And maybe she is going to hire him to get revenge on those people that effed her. Because I think Barry in the episode 6 has those ideas about how he can F with the people at Banshee and everything, and she's like, oh no, I don't want to do that, no. So that's how I figure, she's probably going to think, Barry's like this effed up guy, these people have wronged me, you know what, I think I'll hire Barry to take care of them. At least that's my fan theory about how that's going to go and everything. But who knows, I could be way off on that. So, but it was a good episode last week of Barry. I'm saddened to see how that ends, but I really hope, for NoHo Hank's sake, that him and Christabel end up together. They end up getting out of Bolivia, and they go somewhere, on the beach or whatever, at the end of the 3rd season. I just want NoHo Hank to be happy. That's all I want. NoHo Hank is the best character on television, bar none. I love NoHo Hank. I would watch a spin-off show of NoHo Hank. That would be the best. Like NoHo Hank and all his Chechnyan gangster friends and their wacky adventures. Give me like 5 seasons of that on HBO, and I'd be set for life. Oh, please HBO, give me that. Please Bill Hader and Alec Berg. That's all I ask. Okay, so I'm heading out to the car wash right now. So we'll be back in a moment. Might have some more stuff to say, possibly, but we'll be back in a moment right here on It Was a Thing on TV Presents.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
That knocking means another engine needs its knocks knocked out.
What am I going to do?
Well, for a knockout like you, there's always hope. Try Texaco Super Lead-Free Sky Chief. Texaco's highest octane unleaded gasoline. Higher octane helps knock out the knocks. Hey, Knockout, how's your engine sound now?
Smooth, thanks to Texaco Super Lead-Free Sky Chief.
Higher octane helps knock out the knocks.
You knock me out, Bob.
Riders up.
This summer, come out and play where the turf meets the surf at Del Mar.
Be sure you're at the track this Saturday for a free Expo racing cap.
No matter how you get to Photomat, get to Photomat. Because right now we're having a film developing special. Just bring in any roll of color print film for developing, and we'll take $1 off our regular price. But better hurry. Word travels fast.
Wednesday.
You're the only one that can save the world from destruction.
Does the greatest American hero have the power to do it alone? Then, what's Hollywood's hottest stuntman doing in Mexico?
You trying to bribe me?
Try $5 million, a beautiful woman, and a guy who wants him dead. Then, on the dramatic season premiere of Dynasty.
She's lying.
A surprise witness desperate for revenge. Is it justice or Blake Carrington and his dynasty?
Wednesday, starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on ABC.
Remington Steele will be right back.
I'm Angelica Houston. You know they say that winning the Oscar can be a curse. Well, it must be because I'm hosting Saturday Night Live with Billy Martin and the Parliament Funkadelic.
Joe Garagiola hosts a showdown of baseball stars at the Big League Decathlon Challenge on NBC Sports World, Sunday.
Good evening, everyone. Beetle County authorities are investigating an apparent murder-suicide. Authorities say a 74-year-old man stabbed and killed his wife before killing himself this morning in their Huron home. I'm Susan Bueller. We'll have details tonight at 10 o'clock. Also, travel is expected to be extremely heavy on South Dakota roads this holiday weekend, and the Highway Patrol is out in full force trying to make the weekend safer. And a violent thunderstorm has claimed the lives of 4 people in Texas. The roof of a bowling alley in Fort Worth apparently caved in, trapping several people inside. Details of these stories and more, plus the sports and weather, tonight at 10 on Action 5 News. Join us then.
It's new Kool-Aid coolers with 20% juice. You can ice it, shake it, pop it, cooler. Sip it, hip it, pop it, cooler. Icy fruity, super juicy. Kool-Aid coolers make it cooler. Pack it, pocket, play it cooler. Stack it, stock it, see it cooler. Icy fruity, super juicy with 20% juice. Kool-Aid coolers make it cooler.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Sugar Daddy. Some things never change. Sugar Daddy has the flavor which lasts a lifetime.
And we're back here on It Was a Thing on TV Presents. Greg Diener back with you, live from the comforts of my Chevy Equinox. I hope you enjoyed those fantastic vintage commercials that were playing. And by the way, this is not a free plug for them or anything, considering we did an episode about one of their former corporate mascots. But while I was at the car wash, I ordered a Domino's pan pizza. The Domino's store around here was offering 20% off their orders for their local coupon in the mobile app, so I used that to get myself pan pizza and some cheesy bread, because I always liked Domino's cheesy bread. That's pretty good. Do you remember, like, back a couple years ago when MLB TV had that promotion with Domino's, where whenever someone threw a no-hitter, you'd get like a free Domino's pizza? I got a free Domino's pizza like when Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter, like against the Cubs in his last start with the Phillies back in, I think it was like 2015 or something. Yeah, it had to have been like 2015, because I think it was like, or 2016, whatever. But I think it was like right before he got traded from the Phillies for the deadline. And yeah, it was the game was at Wrigley. He threw a no-hitter. I got myself a Domino's pizza because I was an MLB.TV subscriber. And that was pretty nice. So thank you, Cole Hamels, for pitching a no-hitter and giving me that free Domino's pizza back in 2015 or 2016. Whatever it was. Whenever Cole Hamels did that no-hitter against the Cubs. That was a good pizza. I wish they still had that, but what can you do? And, yeah, I noticed that, yeah, the Domino's boxes are promoting the aforementioned 4th season of Stranger Things. And I forgot to mention this, but I enjoyed, like, the thing with where Mike, Will, and Jonathan and Argyle, they go to Dustin's girlfriend's house to try to get the location of 11, and to fool Dustin's girlfriend, they say, "Oh, it's a promotion for a new video game console. It's the Americanized version of Nintendo, the American Nintendo, or whatever. It's basically an American Nintendo called, I think, Americtendo or Americtendo or whatever." And I think Hyperkin, which makes the Retron systems, they actually on their social media, on their Facebook page, made like a mock version of that, the perceived version of that American Nintendo, which is the stupidest thing ever, but it was so glorious. Which now they need to make Hyperkin. They need to make that a real thing. Everyone would buy that. Maybe Netflix in season 5 of Stranger Things, you can work with Hyperkin, get the American Nintendo as a real thing, and everyone will buy it and enjoy it. And I would certainly enjoy it, because I would play I'm trying to think of the worst freaking game on the NES. I guess Wally Bear and the No Gang on the American Nintendo, or the Back to the Future for NES. Yeah, that was a pretty bad game. I still do not understand the whole thing of why bees are supposed to kill you in that game, considering there's nothing about bees in the actual Back to the Future movie itself. I don't know. Super Mario was big. They thought, oh, give the kids a game. Who cares what it is? Get some thing that's out to kill you or whatever. Because this is the whole hot thing with video games. We don't think anyone will care if it's accurate to the movie or not, so whatever. And I could never get past that one stage with the cafeteria where you had to hit like I'm guessing it's like Biff's gang or whatever, and you have to keep hitting them with like cake. Is that it? Were you supposed to be throwing cake at them? I don't know. Less said about Back to the Future on NES, the better. But, yeah. I actually got, like, a while back at Target, I got, you know those My Arcade, like, little, like, mini arcades and those portable, like, players that are kind of like, sort of, like, Game Boys, sort of, or, like, I don't know how you describe them. They're like, they kind of look like a cross between, like if a Game Gear was like the size of a Nokia N-Gage. Is that the right thing? A Game Gear the size of a Nokia N-Gage? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I got one because Target had one for Bases Loaded, and it had like Bases Loaded, Hoops, Goal, and one other game. That was advertised in the box. I forget what it was. But I brought it home, and I did not realize, and they did not advertise this on the My Arcade box for the player that advertised Bases Loaded, that they had Bases Loaded 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the My Arcade portable player for Bases Loaded, which is nice. So it's all 4 NES versions in that one player thing, which is pretty great considering Bases Loaded 4 on the NES, I think, is somewhat rare. I think that goes for like a good chunk of money on eBay. I think if you're lucky, you can get a copy for like maybe $60 used, because I know it goes for like a lot of money, like in the $70 to $80 range. It's like one of the rarest NES baseball games I can think of. Like the other one is probably like Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball on the NES, which is coincidentally, those are the 2 NES games for baseball that were released in the US that I do not have on my NES collection. So I know the one retro game store I always go to had a Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball, and it was like it was like maybe $79.99 or whatever, and I had the money. I was like, no, that's stupid. I mean, I can't get that. But in retrospect, I should have, because that's like, when am I ever going to get another chance to see a Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball for NES in person? That's not, a Dusty Diamond All-Star NES, Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball for NES, that is, in person. Like, I don't get that many opportunities, and probably never get another opportunity, and at that price, I'm never going to see it for $79.99 on eBay, probably. Whatever, I have a NES emulator on my computer. I have an NES emulator on the PSP. I can just play Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball, and that's fine. Maybe one day I'll get it, but whatever. You know what? They should have Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball in like those, one of those compilation things, because I've seen like Data East put out like a compilation of like their old NES games from like Retro. I think Retrobit released it like maybe about like 3 or 4 years ago on the NES, and it had like Burger Time was on it. I know Mike's gonna love the fact I brought up Burger Time, because I know how much Mike loves Burger Time. And it had Ring King, and if you remember, Ring King was that one NES game where it was a boxing game, and after each round the trainer would go up to the boxer and do a motion that Yeah. If you played Ring King on the NES, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That certain move that would help get your stamina back up. Yeah. That was... Like, when you're playing the game as a kid, you're like, what the hell is this? It's like the scene at WCW Halloween Havoc 1985, where the Yeti is doing the little backside action on the Hulkster, while the Giant is bear hugging him. If you know what I mean, you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this. And that is one of the great moments ever in WCW. The whole thing with Hulk Hogan and the Giant in the sumo monster truck match at Halloween Havoc, and then followed by the Giant taking the giant fall off the roof at Cobo Hall, and then the amazing match with the Jimmy Hart heel turn and the Yeti, Tony Schiavone going, the Yeti! I would like to do, maybe possibly as a live show, the whole thing with the Hogan and the Giant with the monster truck match and the match at Halloween Havoc 95. But the problem is, it's like, I also have to explain in that episode the whole story behind the Dungeon of Doom. And that could take me about a half hour to explain the whole history with, like, Sullivan, my son, and what was it? Oh yeah, the Giant getting the monster truck that ran over the Hulkster's motorcycle. That was so awesome. The Giant got a monster. That's what led to the monster truck match. The Giant had a monster truck, and it literally ran over the Hulkster's motorcycle, and he was so pissed, he challenged him to a sumo monster truck match on the roof of Cobo Hall. Like, I don't even know if that's a thing. Are sumo monster truck matches a thing? Like, is that common in monster truck shows? Like, do they have, like, a sumo match with trucks? Like, that should be, like, a thing. Like, and you award the car, like, a belt for being the best sumo monster truck champion. That should be a thing. If it's not, it should be. Like, I guarantee you people would watch the hell out of that. Sumo monster truck matches. Amazing. Well, we got some fun episodes, I know, on the podcast coming up. Later this year, we got Lady Blue, which is... Mike, I told Mike this during the after show last week, that it's his fault, because when we did Misfits of Science last year, we brought this... Mike brought this show to our attention about Lady Blue, because I think either Misfits of Science was in the same time slot, or it was behind Lady Blue, or he was just ahead of Misfits of Science. I don't know. Oh, by the way, speaking of, there is a Misfits of Science reference in Stranger Things Season 4, if you have not seen it. But if you know, you know. Yeah. But, yeah, Lady Blue, it's a show about a female police officer and her giant gun. And somehow Danny Aiello's in it? What? Like, huh? Like, I can't quite picture Danny Aiello doing a police procedural on ABC in 1986, 87 when this aired, but okay. And I'm trying to think what else we got later on this year. Well, we've already mentioned the CBS Friday Night Block Party we're going to cover. It's specifically Mego and the Gregory Hines show, because I watched the episode of 13-Week Theater with Bev did on Mego, and oh God, I told Mike in the one episode when we talked about Mego, I saw Mego as a kid, and even back then, I thought that the show was total crap. Just total crap. Bronson Pinchot as an alien with Jonathan Lipnicki. Just so bad. And I'm so happy that Michelle Trachtenberg did so much better with Buffy. Even though, as I said, she had to deal with Joss Whedon. At least it's still better. Well, she was Buffy's sister. I'd be better known as being Buffy's sister and being on Mego. And speaking of sort of the Friday Night Block Party, because Step by Step was on the Friday Night Block Party on CBS in its final season, because it moved from ABC TGIF to there with Family Matters. All the episodes of Step by Step are now on Freevee, formerly known as IMDb.tv or IMDb TV. That Freevee is the new name for IMDb TV, which, to be honest, is a much better, as dumb as the name is, it's much better than IMDb TV. Just, yeah, I did not like the name IMDb TV at all, because because when I think the Internet Movie Database, I just think of, like, what movies certain actors are in. Now, IMDb TV, like, what is that? I don't know. But yeah, they have all the episodes of Step by Step on Freevee, as well as Perfect Strangers. And I was on, like, a Perfect Strangers, like, binge watch, like, about 2 weeks ago. I watched maybe about a dozen or so episodes of Perfect Strangers about 2 weeks ago, and it's still great. It is still friggin' fantastic. You can't go wrong with Perfect Strangers. It is like, if you're ever feeling down or anything, Perfect Strangers is, no pun intended, the perfect kick-me-up, because you cannot go wrong with the on-screen antics of Bronson Pinchot, Mark Lund-Baker. No. Just gold. One of them I watched was the episode where Carl Winslow made his first appearance on Perfect Strangers. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, hilarity ensued. Hilarity ensued. That's all I'm going to say. You can go to Freevee and watch that episode for yourself. Alright, so I'm just about heading home here. I'm just about a block away from my house right now. So that's going to do it for this first solo edition of It Was a Thing on TV Presents. Hey, if you liked it, let me know. You can email. We do have an email. We have a show email. It Was a Thing on TV @gmail.com. You can go there and you can write an email. You can tell us how we've been doing with the episodes. Give us feedback. We like feedback. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to improve. We want to make the show more fun. We want to make the show better. And we're now at 278 tomorrow. We're 22 episodes away from 300 episodes. I can't believe it. I always say it every time we reach a milestone, like from 50 to 100 to 150, 200, 250. But the fact that we're almost to 300 episodes in 3 years is saying a lot, because I did not expect we'd be doing this podcast for this long, and it's almost been, it'll be 3 years in October. So, yeah. So, yeah, It Was a Thing on TV @gmail.com. Tell us what you think. Tomorrow, we got the sequel to, well, not a sequel, but a spiritual sequel to High School USA 1983 in Poison Ivy. This is for you, Old Man Yells at Music. You recommended this to us last year, and now we're finally going to cover it tomorrow, right here on Podbean. So listen to that, enjoy it, and we got some good stuff coming to you down the pike, and we'll see you real soon. See you next time, right here on the It Was a Thing on TV Podbean feed. Let's go Rangers!